In this video, we're going to show you guys a 1931 Ford Hot Rod. The guy's name is Eric. He built this truck from
Is it a truck?
Well, used to be a car.
Now it's a truck.
And the guy made it into a truck. So I guess it's a truck.
From the ground up, now it's a truck.
Now it's a truck. A 1931 Ford Hot Rod truck. So stick around, it's all happening right now, and I guarantee you're gonna love it. So Levi, this was like the first guy we saw driving down the road when we got to the cruise in Newcastle, Indiana. Remember we saw him and we're like, wow, we've got to interview that guy?
Yeah, he must have drove by us 4 or 5 times in his truck doing the cruise back and forth up and down this main street. And
him and his son.
What a killer truck.
Yeah, and then finally, the guy comes and parks right behind you. And it's like, what a great opportunity. So we went over and talked to this guy, and he was immediately on board. And he is really very proud of this truck that he built.
And he should be.
Yeah, he did a great job. I mean, if you wouldn't have told me that it was a car in the beginning and he made it into a truck, I would have never known that. It looks like a truck.
Yeah, what an awesome custom fabrication job on this. It was like a 5-window coupe, and the guy took and turned it into a pickup truck, and he did it all himself. He did all the fabrication, he did all the painting. The little truck it's amazing. And he just bought wheels the week before we saw him, and put these wheels on the truck, and you would swear they were made for the truck.
Yeah.
It was so cool.
Yeah, they were pretty sweet. And the paint job, the color on the car was definitely a cool color. He did that all with a rattle can. And not only did he put the wheels on like a week before, but it was about a month and a half that he finally had finished the car before he took it to the show. So that's kind of a cool factor too. This was like the first time he was showing this car off, and we get the privilege of showing it to you.
Yep. I think he said it was Detroit green.
Detroit
engine green is the color of the paint, and an off-white. And man, it fits the car like it came out of that era. It was so cool. So stick around, because Eric's truck is coming to you right now on After the Smoke Clears.
My name's Eric, and this is my 31 Model A Hot Rod. First car I wanted when I was growing up was a 79 F-150 Ford pickup truck, and that was in the 90s. I wanted something old. I was an old soul, and that's just what I wanted to cruise in back in the early 90s. From there, it just escalated into what it is today. So this truck here inspired me. I had a hot rod before this truck I built from the ground up, Model A, and it was a car, coupe. And so I wanted to build a truck version of what I had. I found the cab. Cab was in southern Indiana, and the motor came with the cab. So I brought home the cab and the motor, and I built the rest from the ground up. It's just a version of what I had before, and I really like it. The motor is a 1954 Y-block Ford 239 cubic inch with a tri-power intake and lots of chrome, and it's got a stock 3-speed transmission, manual shift. The rear end is out of a Ford Ranger, a 2006 Ford Ranger. I'm not sure the gear ratio on that, but it was a rear end that I had laying around, and so I wanted to put it to use because I knew it was good. So the color on this Model A is Alpine Green. It's Detroit diesel. It's the same color that they paint the Detroit diesel engines and the old flatheads from back in the day. And it was a really attractive color, and I had to go with it. I've used it once before, got it from Summit Racing. Actually got it out of rattle cans, so I rattle canned this whole truck. So my favorite place to take this truck is up at the Ducktail Run in Gas City, Indiana. It's just about 5 miles north of Fairmount, where they have the James Dean Festival the same weekend. And so once upon a time, those two were together, but then they separated, and now the ducktail is kind of bigger, larger, got a better swap meet, more things to do. I love to take it up there, it gets lots of attention. Well, for the most part, I'm gonna leave the interior the way it is. I'm gonna put a rag top on it, so I'm gonna put a nice white cream top on it to kind of finish it off on the outside. I think it'll give it a real nostalgic look. The wheels here kind of set it off. Got those here a few weeks back. The wheels are Model A wire wheels. They steel wheels, authentic, Firestone bias ply tires. Just gives it a real good look. I mean, it just got that nice look like you just ripped your fenders off, threw the hood off of it, and you got you a hot rod from back in the day. And that's what I wanted with this truck right here. It's just a full weekend of, you know, putting up a campfire, throwing up a tent, and just having a good old time all weekend, cruising around their pond that they have in the park. It's just a great time for hot rodders. Probably 3,000 cars up there. It's just an awesome place to be. And it's the last weekend of September, and just a few more weekends away. I'm looking forward to going up there and showing this baby off. It's freshly done. I got it done about a month ago, so we've really been having lots of fun with it, and looking forward to that show. That's one of my favorites. I'll tell you another story here. This cab originally was not a truck. This was a sedan, an A model sedan. So what I did is I cut the back off behind the doors, and the whole cab was just, there was nothing back there. So I took the back of the sedan and I made a truck cab out of it. So I just had some sheet metal laying around, and I made the bed to make it a truck. So I was wondering, how was I going to put a floor in this thing? What was I going to use? I didn't really want to use steel, so I used some old tongue and groove hardwood that me and my wife tore down from a house neighboring us. On both sides of us, we had an opportunity to buy two houses that neighbored both of the sides of our house. So I tore the house down, and we used this old hardwood tongue and groove from the upstairs of this home, and put in the cab, and I put it in the bed, and it just turned out fantastic. So the best part about this whole entire experience with this hot rod and all the attention that it grabs from everywhere is my family. My family was supported me in the whole build. You know, financially, it costs some money to build these things. They're not cheap. So I want to introduce my lovely wife. Her name's Amy, and she was supportive of me building this hot rod, and I couldn't have done it without her. And my son here, his name is Zane. He's a hot rodder at heart. He's watched Dad build them ever since he was in a little stroller. So he remembers all the hot rods that I had and all the shows that we went to when he was little. His name's Zane, Amy. And without them, I couldn't be the car guy that I am, because I got to have my family support. So it's nights like this that just make it worth a while. You come out here, have a good time, cruise, see people, meet people with your family. Nothing better than that. Hi, I'm Eric. This is my 31 Model A hot rod, and this is why I'm a car guy.
So Mark, one of the things I loved about his Eric's truck is I love that he had an old Ford motor in it. So he's got an old Ford engine. Most guys are asking him what small block Chevy you put in it. It's not a small block Chevy, it's a Ford. The other thing I loved is how much his family was involved in his build. Him and his wife tore down a couple houses next door to them that they purchased, and they took old hardwood that they got out of the building, and they used that for building the interior of the vehicle, because back in those days, the frames on the inside of the doors were all made out of wood. And I think a lot of times the floors were, and even the back of the cab. Yep. But they did all that on their own. I thought that was pretty awesome. And then this is really the first time we've ever had a family come into one of our videos, which I'm so happy we did, because they were really connected to the whole thing. He's got a son who's totally involved, who also makes skateboards, which who would think that a kid his age is making skateboards. But
And they have a bicycle shop?
They have a bicycle shop. The other thing is awesome is that the kid does artwork, and I mean, just really what an interesting family.
Yeah.
I love the connection that we had with them. What a great family. I can't wait to see them again.
Yeah.
And they're going to be at the Ducktail, which is a custom rod show in Gas City, Indiana. And I'm telling you, Mark, that is going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to do my best to try to make it there. And we're hoping to share the information for the Ducktail on the clip for this video.
Yeah, I definitely, I put it in there. Yeah, I'm sorry. One of the other things that I thought was kind of neat was Eric himself, because here he is driving this 1931 Ford pickup truck hot rod, and he dressed the part, you know, with his hat and his, you know, his whole get up was to fit the era, which was kind of neat.
He's a rodder.
Yep, and his wife told us that we made his day by inviting him to be on our show. So I thought that was super cool too.
Wow, that was great. What a great guy, what a great story. You know, what a great connection with somebody. And that's what that's why we do this channel. And we hope everybody realize that what we do is really a historical kind of an attribute to their story. Right. They get to look at this in 15 years down the road and say, hey, remember when we did that video?
Right.
And, you know, God forbid anything ever happens to anybody, but you get some of our older gentlemen that do our videos with us. You know, they're not going to be around forever, unfortunately. Car guys die off.
Yeah.
But this is something that their families could always look back, and we get to be part of their life, and we get to be part of their children's future and grandchildren's future, because they get to look back and look at Grandpa's video.
Yeah, that's true. And you know, just connecting with other car guys too is so important, and that's another thing that we say in our videos is we love connecting the car guys together and having them share their stories with all of you guys. And this video was a great example of that. He shared some awesome stories, and the family unit was just very, very cool.